In this video I just wanted to show a few of the material properties and just what happens with them if you haven't prepared yourself for what could happen. Sounds a bit ominous. There's just a few shortfalls in some of the materials in KeyShot. This is just also to show the quality of the shadow within the environment. When I imported this crocodile, I dropped into the ground, then added everything else to the scene. Quality, we look at the shadow quality, can really step that up. Okay. So that even the preview render is showing it slightly sharper, but when we do an actual render, they will be quite sharp. Some of the settings. Camera. Again, you've got your lighting environments, your ground shadow, you can change that. When you're happy with it, we'll just see how this shadow renders out on the floor. Again, I will pause this and just show you quite quickly. Just 10 inches, 150 dpi. So even using the HDRI maps and snapping the model to the floor, you do get an accurate shadow. There we go. Nice and sharp, nice and accurate. But on the materials, this is quite a basic material. There's no specularity to it at all. Let's just finish off this render. And I just want to show you what happens when you use some of the translucent materials. There is a whole palette within KeyShot, and one or two of them have very different variables. All the different export options again. Including the helper with transparency, so you'd actually catch that shadow as well. Right. Now if we just go over to Library, Materials, in here, there's a folder called Translucent. Sorry, no one. Translucent Human Skin. If you drag it to the model, you start to see subsurface scattering, but if you try and apply your texture map, it can cause problems. And I suspect it's down to the fact that there are key elements already, the key information is already in the human skin, but it comes with its own bump map and colour map existing. I'll touch on that on a human head tutorial coming up next. But these in themselves can be edited and get quite a nice effect. The human skin ones do come with their own colour map and bump map, as I mentioned, but the orange peel and there's a white wax that can be incredibly effective for plastics. Double click on an element and you get the material edit palette, where you can change the colour it blends with, you can change the tonal values, the hues, the subsurface scattering colour, the roughness, everything else. Just let it render a preview for us. We can see the subsurface scattering there. One material that does work really well with this is the white wax material, and here's a scene with an Allosaurus. And this has got a semi-transparent material with a colour map. Quite high specularity, but it does work on the render. You see he's actually bringing in colour through the neck wattle, which is quite thin. As I mentioned, I have included all of these scenes as BIP scenes, and all of the OBJs and Z tools are in the folders as well. Save this up. I think what I'll concentrate on next is just the different effects of materials, colour maps, transparencies. Can be a bit of a nightmare, but once you nail it, it's very effective.